You can post a lot, but it doesn't mean that you're really sharing anything about yourself, because a lot of the times when you're online, you're sharing images of other people, of things you want to do, people you want to be like or look like, or welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, my name is Michelle, and today I will be talking about my experience as a nomad so far. I am nearly 1 year in, and I thought it would be interesting for me to just chit chat a little bit about it. I'm not very good with like expressing my emotions or feelings about things unless it's something that I really can't stand. But I am trying to learn to just be more expressive as I am sharing um, my life on the internet. It's still very weird in a way of like, yeah, you can post a lot, but it doesn't mean that you're really sharing anything about yourself, because a lot of the times when you're online, you're sharing images of other people, of things you want to do, people you want to be like or look like, or what you want to feel like, but not necessarily like who you are in that moment. And so I just thought it would be nice to just talk a little bit versus do a vlog like I normally do. Um, so that is what I'm doing. I'm currently in Colombia, so it will be like a jump, because the next vlog that you see will be Costa Rica, and that will be on Sunday. But I thought I'd try something different of just expressing myself so that you could see what I'm feeling or understand what I'm feeling or experiencing. And I'll try to do this more often, since I told myself I'll be doing 2 uploads. So please just bear with me as I am trying, because yeah, I feel like I can rant and rant and rant, but I never get to a point. So today is just going to be me talking about my experience. So there's nothing really that I'm trying to sell or say. I'm just talking about how I feel. So one thing that I am commonly told by other people that are following my journeys, I'm commonly asked if I'm enjoying this lifestyle of being able to, not a single place to live, but it depends on who you ask, or it depends on the day, really. Overall, I really do enjoy the experience of not being tied anywhere, but at the same time, it often can cause a worry because you are not really tied to anywhere per se. And so I see people always talking about, as nomads, if you do or don't have a home that you can go back to. And I know a lot of people who create nomad content, they have a parent or a sibling or a loved one where they can stay in a room, stay in their living room, stay, like if you have an RV, stay in their driveway or anything that you need, or they will help you. um in my case, for my partner and I, we really don't have anywhere else to go. Um, Especially in America, really, where we would be able to stay and save and not have to worry about paying for rent or housing. Me being someone that is unemployed, I really do get wrapped up in that cycle of worry around, like, I'll be able to get a job, be able to find a place again that I could afford. Because the one thing that I see all the time of everyone talking about how expensive it is and how it's just not like possible to, maintain. And for me, I grew up low income Section 8. And so every day that I'm in these places where there is not a lot of resources or not a lot of food, it just reminds me of the way that I grew up. And it reminds me of like that instability, or, that uncertainty. And life is uncertain. No matter, even if you think it's certain, you could be somewhere for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and that doesn't mean like it's certain, because everything in life is temporary. So that's just something that I'm learning, but I do enjoy it. I think it's been so beautiful. It's been challenging because I've really had to work on the way that I think, or just the way that I even feel gratitude for the little things. Like the things that I want to complain about or have an issue about is like I can resolve it. It can be resolved. Whereas people are in situations in other countries where you can't necessarily, like, not to say you can't resolve your issues, but it, the disadvantages and the challenges that are faced all the time, it's like sometimes in my mind I'm just like, I'm really creating this huge issue and making something so big and bad and letting it affect not only my day, it could be my week. And it's like people have like real life issues or things that you have faced and gotten through, and they get up every day and they try. So why can't you try? I enjoy learning how much privilege I have, even when I feel like I have none at all, because I do. Like, overall, I enjoy it, but I also am more aware of like realities of the world. Like, you yourself, you're in your own reality, you're doing your own thing, you're worried about your own issues, what is super important to you or detrimental. But just being able to actually see like what's important, like how can I eat, how can I rest somewhere safely, how can I be hydrated, just basic things just to even get through the day. And so I feel like that aspect of it I really do enjoy being immersed in nature a lot more. Even if I'm in a city, it's like there's so much nature that is still preserved, versus like America is gonna cut it all down. It's all gonna be gone. So I kind of jumped into my second point, or thing I wanted to talk about, as far as like my experience as a nomad. And I always get DMs from people saying that I'm doing things that others don't really get to do, or really don't do. And in my mind, I don't think that, like, I feel like travel has definitely become more accessible for people and more affordable to a certain extent, of like being able to have a payment plan and figure out a way to enjoy traveling without it overwhelming you or messing up your budget or going beyond your means, because you can plan for it more long term. However, I think that one thing that this has reminded me of is that your mindset is so important when it comes to any lifestyle choices that you want to make. And people often glamorize full-time travelers' lives, because I mean, if every time you see me posting, I'm at the beach or I'm hanging with the animals, seeing that every day, it's also a reminder, like, to me as an American, that there is so much nature that is in America and it's accessible. Like, I grew up in DC, so most of our museums are free, and that's something that I really enjoy being able to do, because I'm getting outside, I'm walking around, I'm learning things, and that's what was accessible to me. Whereas we always think about the next best thing, or what is aesthetic, or what looks beautiful, or what will other people approve of, and then we just skip out on all of the things that we do have access to. Like sometimes you see someone in another country, like visiting another country, and they're at a waterfall, or they're swimming in a river, or they're jet skiing, or they're doing something like that, and it's like you could really do that back home, and it can still have the same excitement and still have the same like meaning to you. But it's so often that people just see like, I mean, I guess you only post, people only really post the good, and then they may post the bad if they feel like they need help. I mean, I know that for me, like when I first lost my job and stuff, like people were saying, oh, like, oh, you'll be fine, like you seem to be fine. And I'm like, I don't really post many struggles because, you know, everyone feels like if you post your struggles, then people say you need to be a better adult, you need to be a more responsible person, you need to do this, you need to do that. As people, we love to say what another person needs to do, and we don't do it ourselves. Like we could recognize so much in another person, but not in ourselves. And so I feel like I'm guilty of doing that, and I can't really be mad at the next person if that's how they're perceiving me, or if they perceive certain things that I post a certain way. And we always care about the next thing and not really the present, and that's something that I feel like for me I've always struggled with, like since I was younger. And I thought that I had gotten better with it, but traveling with my partner, and she's a very present person, like she still cares about the present. And I feel like for me, like I'd be so worried about the next moment. You can't really like be present if you're thinking about, you know, like you have to just allow things to happen and still be grateful for the way that things turn out despite everything. Like you really have to say, like, am I saying that I can't do this, or am I just not doing it? So that's something that I've had to continue to ask myself, like, can I not do it, or am I just not doing it? Because it's a big difference. A lot of times we just say we can't do it because we decide that we won't do it, so we don't do it, or we don't do something like that is within our grasp.